What's going on YouTube? Kamikazevondoom here with another Division 2 video, so sit back, relax, grab that popcorn, don't forget to hit that like, subscribe if you haven't already, and let me know what you think in the comment section below. But this is going to be a quick intro because there's a lot of stuff that was just breaking right now. Ubisoft did a surprise live stream with Yannick, the creative director, and they answered my questions. We got to talk to them. They played the Division. They talked about the Division. They talked about the DLC, and they talked about everything else. So without further ado, I hope you enjoy. Hit the like, subscribe, and let's go ahead and jump to the footage.
Yannick?
Yeah, it goes up as you get those skills, as you fulfill those requirements for the momentum. The bar is going to go up. You see that there are a few thresholds in the bar, and this indicates the intensity of the buff you're going to get. So every time you reach one of those thresholds, the buff is going to get stronger. The buff includes movement speed, RPM bonus, damage bonus. So it's all-encompassing, again, aggressive playstyle kind of buff that you're going to get. And so the higher the momentum, the better the buff. And if you manage to get your momentum all the way to the top, of that bar, you get an even more powerful buff and a skill overcharge as well. So if you're playing with skills, this is where then you're going to be able to go on the rampage with your skills.
So you see I've made a little bit of progress with that small encounter there. Now, the momentum decays, right? Your sort of bonus, you got to keep up the pace.
Yes.
Other than just, continuing to kill enemies, what are good ways to keep that pace going as we're getting into the mix here?
Well, there's two things also that can help you keep the momentum that you have. First is sprinting. When you sprint, it actually decays slower. So once again, encouraging this aggressive playstyle, you really have to run and run to their faces to limit the decay in between kills. Also using pulse. If you pulse enemies, you're actually stopping the decay for a while. So there's a few options here to try to keep what you have, but honestly, the best is just to keep killing.
It's just to keep killing, yeah. And so get yourself into the action as fast as you can here. I'm sprinting my way here, trying to get in for a headshot. Okay, and then
and you see that that kind of visual effect you get now when you reach those thresholds. So that's,
yeah. And here's another thing to keep an eye. Here's another thing to keep an eye out for. This little icon.
Yeah. These are the blacklisted enemies, and when they are blacklisted, that means basically you will get more momentum for killing them. You see, you got a significant bump here, but they also, when they hit you, they actually take away your momentum. So you need to really try to prioritize targets. When you see blacklisted enemies, it's usually advised to kill them first, because if you let them hit you, your momentum is going to go down.
They're just going to drain their away straight away. All right. Where the last guy is here before we trigger the next wave here. But we've got Kamikazevondoom and Cloudfloppers in the chat saying they are enjoying the modifiers for sure this season as well. Are you seeing, is this kind of aggressive playstyle when you check in? Because I know you are watching streams. I know you're checking in on players here, Yannick. Do you see people really enjoying this kind of play style, and so you kind of have them in mind a little bit when you're deciding on these modifiers?
Yeah, I mean, we try to see how people play, and obviously, I mean, this kind of play style, the aggressive rush, it's and DPS minded or damage minded. That's probably what the majority of players usually plays with. That goes very well along with striker builds or things that a lot of players are able to put together. And this one is also a bit inspired by probably one of the most popular thing we have in the game, which is the Golden Bullet global event, which is I think an everybody favorite when the Golden Bullet is here, because it's very simplistic in a way. It's just kill enemies and get more powerful. So we wanted something a bit in that idea as well. We really wanted to try a modifier that would just be fun and just make the game feel more fun and a bit faster paced and more rewarding. As I said, it's the second time we do a set of modifiers, so we're still experimenting with different propositions and kind of trying to find what are the things that work and don't work. So yeah, we're pretty excited to try this one out, and I'm super happy to see that it resonates with people.
Yeah, we've got some folks excited about it. And oh boy, oh boy. Sorry. Chat.
One thing we really tried to do here as well was
set me on fire. Is that what you're trying to do, Yannick?
we changed a bit our approach this season with the hostile modifiers. You know, last season we had 4 different hostile modifiers that each were kind of like buffs to the NPCs, but that would actually impact your gameplay as well. And that was something that was, you know, quite, I would say, debated. But overall, a lot of people were not super happy with those because they could end up being quite frustrating. So in this one, we also went with something that's a bit more straightforward. There's a mechanic called Frenzy, and the further you progress in your season journey, and the higher the frenzy the NPCs would get, and that's also a straight-up buff to the NPCs. So they also get more powerful as you progress in your season, which is kind of like counterbalancing the power you gain through the modifier. But there is no extra effect like. That, you know, that would impact you, no slowing down, no status effect, no things like that. But we know people reacted quite negatively last time to that. So with this one, we also went with just, okay, we are just giving you a plain buff, and we're gonna give a plain buff to the NPCs.
And that buff is gonna, but it's still one that you have to work for, one that you kind of have to. And then, of course, be mindful
you have to work. Hey, you're almost there. You're almost there.
I'm almost there. Where is the next?
Keep going.
Where is the next one?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
I think
I need another target.
For some people, it's gonna take a bit of getting used to on like how do you really optimize the momentum gain and everything. But once you get there, you really get rewarded.
That's the first time I've hit it. Yes. Of course, I was taking out the last dude, but you saw all the sort of the stats pop up there briefly as I killed that last enemy, and I was sprinting and trying to pulse to keep it up, finishing with the headshots. That is focusing on the headshots a little bit more has really made the difference here with this SMG shotgun build that I have going.
I mean, that's the right kind of build, I think, for this modifier, like this very aggressive close range build. I think skill builds should work as well, because we've made the modifier to work with skills as well.
With
actually,
skill kills, I noticed. Yeah.
And some of the passive modifiers you're going to get are about skills. So they're adding functionalities to skills or effects to skills. So we didn't forget about skill players here. But I mean, the bread and butter of this modifier is really this close range, aggressive playstyle.
So that's what we're trying to do, and it's going pretty well so far, chat. Hunter's Fury is perfect for the set of modifiers, says Kamikaze. Thank you. That's the one that I've really been enjoying. If you've been watching, if you caught our previous Division streams, and it's the one I'm rocking today. And so, because it really applies that status effect to nearby enemies. That's why that enemy's kind of like.
This is perfect for this close range.
Really sets them up for the close range takedown. You know what? Can we just break out the minigun a little bit? It's not the greatest for headshots, but I did want to take down that leader fast. So there we go. And I finished with the in tier 2. Okay. Yannick, the tips are working out, man. What can I say? Thank you. I appreciate it. Now,
and it also gets easier once you get the active modifiers, because you have like one of them, for example, allows you to directly max out your momentum. You
can like trigger it to just go to max, right?
You go to max, and then you try to sustain the max as long as you can. But then once you lose it, then your momentum gain is going to be reduced for duration. So there's still a consequence to using it. But in those situations, it can be a difference between life or death.
Yeah, I mean, to be able to have that instant buff just applied, and you were saying the frenzy buff that enemies have sort of commensurately, that increases as your seasonal journey progress increases. Yep. Is it just kind of like then once you're at tier 3 on stage 3 on your seasonal journey, they all have this level buff no matter where you encounter them, or do enemies have to does some condition have to be met for enemies to activate those in the middle of combat?
No, they get it. They get the buff.
They just got it. Okay, cool.
So as you progress in your journey, they will get the buff, and that's Again,
they'll get the buff, and you'll have more tools to manipulate your buff as well.
If you're using the modifier right, you should be able to overpower them. But at least they should pack a punch.
You know what? We like a challenge. We like a challenge here, don't we, chat? So let's take a quick look here at the seasonal journey. Because, Yannick, you mentioned this has been somewhat updated from Season 2's seasonal journey. First, I'll show you where I'm at, and then I'll sort of proceed. But I'll have Yannick then you sort of break it down for us what some of the differences are in terms of progressing. So I finished Mission 1, and I'm making good progress on Mission 2. I can't believe I'm 11 resources away. I thought this control point, the reason I was taking it was so that I could get this donate resources to control points. Can't you just let me give you like a dozen bottles of water and just like
just
they're full up? No,
they're
full
full.
up.
They're full. No wasting supplies.
Absolutely. We appreciate, a rigorous rationed control point. But one of the things I want to point out before I pop out of this menu here is, so I'm on Mission 2. But I've also been making progress on Mission 3 as well, which, as you can see here, folks, is all about eliminating enemies. So what's the idea here, Yannick?
Well, there's two things here. The one thing is that we wanted to make the journey a bit more about the use of the modifier and really combine those two things together. So we've made a lot of the objectives of that journey about the use of the modifier, or at least objectives that are tied in the type of playstyle that goes with that modifier. So that's why you see a lot of eliminating hostiles, of course, double kills, and killing hostiles with explosives, which is not directly tied to the modifier. But of course, as you try to get that momentum, you will tend to try to do more explosive kills. So we wanted to do it to really repurpose the journey to be about the modifier. So you do those objectives, you complete the mission journey, you will see that all the modifiers, now the passive modifiers and the active modifiers, are rewarded through the journey.
Yes, right here we see Isaac mod unlocks right there underneath the journey mission 3, explosive amp, critical recovery, and critical momentum.
Yeah, exactly. So last season, if you remember, the passive modifiers were obtained through priority objectives and the actives were on the season journey. But we've decided to change that and put everything on the season journey and said, okay, the season journey is your training to using the modifier and unlocking new tools. But one thing we've done with the season journey as well is we've isolated the first 2 chapters and made those 2 chapters really focused on newer players, because remember that the season journey is available from level 1. So if you're a new player, you can play the season at level 1. You can progress your journey, and we wanted to have objectives that are tailored for those players. So you will see those are all. Deconstruct an item, liberate a control point, things that anybody can do. But we wanted to isolate those so you don't have to do that if you're already an endgame player. You can skip directly to journey 3, to the mission number 3, and this is where you're going to start to have all the modifier stuff. You can of course do 1 and 2, and I would advise you to do it because that's a good way to gain XP and gain rewards. But you don't have to. You can start directly at the season journey mission 3.
Yeah, and as I said, I started with 1, but I had while I was doing 1, 3 was progressing. So, you can certainly pick your focus here, but if you're just like working your way through these, it'll get you on your way to those first passive modifier unlocks.
And for the people that still question if they should use the modifier or not, even though I would advise people to do it because it's just a lot of fun. Then we've also implemented one change that was requested by a lot of people, is that now when you have the modifier active, you actually gain a boost in seasonal XP. So
there you go.
You can choose to play without it. That's your choice, and you're not punished for it. But you get a little extra if you have it enabled.
I'm just getting a little distracted here, realizing why this place is called Widow's Web control point. This is moments playing the Division 2 where I like get once again very impressed with like the extensive and rich and like storytelling detail of the environments, but also I'm reminded that like this is kind of grim, man. This is kind of bad times for humanity out here.
Not a fun world.
Not a fun world. Oh, but we do our best out here. Fight bad robots. Don't shoot me with your sniper thingy. Okay, here we go. We're on our way.
System curtailed.
So I'm gonna go ahead and head on off to a bounty over here, just because we're gonna stay in New York for a little bit, and 2 bounties is on my seasonal journey here. Hey, how we doing? On patrol? All right, excellent. And we're gonna say, I see that Clogfloppers is mentioning here great changes on the new exotic gloves. And so, folks, before we pick Yannick's brain about exotics, I want to put this link in chat. If you want to read, if you haven't already, I know some of you definitely have. If you want to read the full kind of patch notes breakdown, or you want to watch a video of Yannick and Lauren and a bunch of people on the Division team talking you through the highlights, check out these links I just put in chat, or go ahead onto Ubisoft's YouTube channel or the Division official site, and you'll find the full breakdown there. But now, Yannick, let's talk exotics in the new season, Burden of Truth.
Yeah. So we have 3 exotics coming with this season. We have, first is the one that is called the Oxpecker, and that's an SMG. That's a new exotic SMG. And the idea of the Oxpecker is that it's an SMG that is especially built for shield builds. So if you like to play, again, frontal assault with your shield and your SMG, this is the weapon for you. What it does is that it actually adds a decay to the shield, but then the more kills you do, the more heal or each almost you apply to your shield. So it's really this, then it becomes this economy of like trying to kill enemies faster than your shield decays. But if you can optimize it, it becomes a great way to have really sustainable combat with the shield in front of you and really face tank enemies with that weapon. So it's a lot of fun. Also looks amazing.
I saw you talking about it, and the kind of like on the face of it, just equip it. Your shield health will decay. Like, come on, what are you trying to do to me out here? But no, the buff you get, the benefit you get from it is exactly. quite impactful.
Yeah. So it's you have to be mindful and manage that economy, but it's a lot of fun. And then we have the gloves, and the gloves are called the Exodus. And the idea with the gloves is that, and that's something we've decided to try, is that on armor break they are actually going to drop a smoke bomb. And so that smoke bombs means that it basically removes the aggro from the NPCs, so they don't see you anymore, and you have 3 seconds to get out or re-engage combat, reposition, re-engage combat. It also works in PvP in a different way because of course players can still see you in PvP, but it gives you burst resistance. So it's it's something we tried on the PTS. We got a bunch of feedback on, and we tweaked it a bit, but I think we landed in a pretty good place. So those are also pretty cool.
Right on. If you want to learn more about those, of course, those links I put in chat is definitely the way to go. Very rich, richly detailed, which I really appreciate. Y'all do a great job of sort of delving in, giving the stats and that kind of, information that allows people to get as much out of it as they really want to put in as much attention and as much customization of their build and playstyle. All right, we're heading out here to get this bounty. So we've talked about seasonal journey a little bit. We've talked about this story, and actually after, hello, hi guys. We'll touch back in with the story here about Alani Kelso when we get to after this bounty. We'll do we'll check in on the Manhunt Scout missions and sort of get into that new element. And do some code breaking as well, which is something that I really enjoy actually. So I'm looking forward to that. Please remind me to do this after we get into the bounty. But yeah, chat, if you want to throw out any questions here in the chat, Yannick is taking a look and he'll be able to answer what he can.
I can see you, chat. People are saying he's not reading chat, he's just answering Chris's questions.
That's true. Well, that's what we do at like the beginning. We got to give the overview stuff before we delve deeper into the more specific questions and whatnot. You know how we do it on the streams. And if you don't, that's how we do it on the streams. We want to serve all folks out here on our. Oh, hello. I see you over there. Oh, you're. Oh, yeah. Okay. Now this guy, I don't like to be right there. There's big red barrels. Yannick, I'm not trying to
Yannick
get
shows
big
Chris
red.
how to spawn the beard.
Spawn the what?
The beard. Do you know that NPC? Do you know that I have my own NPC in the game?
I think I did hear this legend that you have your own NPC in the game, but please recount it for the folks watching.
There is an NPC that you can find somewhere in the sewers, but it's called Yannick the Beard. And
do we know any Yannicks that have beards? So it's pretty tough. Or do you have kind of like personal oversight on like, look, if I'm going to be in the game, it's going to be, I got to be tough.
You know what? I wasn't aware. Nobody told me. Players found out when the game launched, and they were like, "Oh, there's a Yannick the Beard in the game." I was like, "What? Stop it! What's going on?"
Stop! Come on! You guys are pranking me for launch, haha.
And and then I went to our good friend Drew Reckner, who was the lead AI designer, and I was like, "Did you make an NPC called Yannick?" And he looked at me with a big smile. So yeah,
I could picture the exact smile. That he must have been so tickled that you had found that. He's just been waiting for that moment.
So I'm privileged enough that I have my own NPC. Mind you, I might be able to sue the company because I don't know that I've given my approval.
Yeah, come on.
My name and likeness to be used.
I know. It definitely. Oh, I should have waited. I think I should have. I like the pulse as an opener, but I feel like I should wait to use it to prevent the decay and instead rely on maybe my Hunter's Fury to sort of take people down. All right. So the virus thing in here, I just don't want to be in the parts where it's red, right? Like, refresh my memory here. It's been a while since I've been in the basement.
There's a lot of red here, so.
Oh, what?
Yeah, that's red. That's the Eclipse virus. That's the weapon that Keener made.
Sorry. Can I get like the 3D printer model of this octopus statue? I want to like make a version of this for my desk.
Pretty cool, huh?
All right, so we've got, let's see, people, I believe it's the Constitutional Hall area. People speculating on where to find Yannick the Beard in chat as well.
Oh, there are many guides on how to do it. I have tried and I have not been able to
Eclipse virus detected.
defeat myself.
You haven't been able. Oh, so
maybe I haven't tried hard enough. I don't know. Maybe it feels weird to kill myself.
Yeah, maybe something is holding you back, sir. He's looking at the man in the mirror. All right, let's get into over here. Okay, let's try. Oh, I meant to duck behind that and I pressed the B. All right, here we go. Try to. I don't like this guy.
Comrade, with your issue on the Dragov bundle helmet, I don't know. We need to ask the team on for an update on that. It's been going on for a long time, you're right. Need to get an update on that.
Okay, I'll see. Alright, this was just a normal bounty, but getting us that progress towards our seasonal journey. But I think now we're gonna, what did I say? We're gonna look at the scout manhunts. Because we've got Agent Kelso here. This is, of course, week 1 of 11. Yannick, give us a little, just this sort of manhunt. You guys kind of retooled the manhunt system in season 2. So give just a quick check-in on where it's at right now, what the kind of idea is behind the manhunts. As I first off here, I completed the first question, I decoded the first clue. Now I'm going to decode the second clue. Recon a ton of binary numbers on the East Mall. So what I have is, I just like Googled binary to English translator, and I have it on my phone. So I'm going to type in some zeros and ones while you give the folks a little bit of an update on Manhunt Scouts, what the sort of current manifestation of this system is and what y'all want it to be.
Yeah, so the idea with when we changed the manhunt was we wanted to first increase the cadence. The way it used to work is that there were 4 targets, so roughly 1 every month that became available. You had to do a bunch of activities to locate the target, then take down the target, and at the end of the season, if you had killed all 4 of them, then you would unlock the prime target. But the system behind the scenes, the system was actually quite limited, and we wanted to have something that was to rethink it a bit, to something that is that goes back to the fundamental, which is like on a regular basis you need to do things to unlock to unlock the story and to unlock the conclusion, which is the climax mission. So instead, we've decided to go for weekly activities, and every week you get a set of riddles that you need to solve. And then every week when you do that, you get a voiceover collectible that tells you a bit more about what's going on in this season. And that's what we gain with that, is we actually gain a lot of flexibility in terms of what we can do.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't necessarily it didn't manifest last season, and this season we're still kind of experimenting a few things, but in the future it's going to allow us to do many more things with this manhunt model. So it's a model that's going to keep evolving, but ultimately the great thing with it is that it's on a weekly basis. So you don't have to come, once a month and then have a big list of things to do. You can do a bit every week, and you get rewarded for it. And then you get your small piece of intel, and then you move on to something else. So it's a bit more streamlined, but we're having a bit of fun with it, especially with creating those riddles. Last season, the riddles were more like just Theo playing around with you and using word plays or whatever to try to make you understand the locations. This time we just went full binary.
You really did. You really did. The first one that you can see, the activity 1 I completed, is American History Museum. So look, this is a binary code. You can Google binary translator and type this in, which I did. I'll tell you what activity 2's translation was. It's only a few. So I did it, and it says patrol. So we're gonna recon a patrol in the East Mall. We'll head back to DC to work on that. But the first one, it spelled out American History Museum in binary. So there was a lot. There was a large block of code. So what I did was I put in the first 4, and it was AMER, and I was like, okay, I think, because it says it tells you in the scout that it's East Mall, and so I was able to be like, all right, I'm almost confident it's American History Museum, do the mission. But then I did the last 4, and it was SEUM, which confirmed it for me, and so I felt very clever cracking the code.
Could have been something else. Who knows?
I know. I mean, look, I was confident enough that to go ahead with it, and it worked out. But I do enjoy the code so far. It's a little fun.
Yeah, we'll see. At the end of the season, people will probably be sick of binary, but that's okay. We'll find something else for next season.
There you go. Mix it up. So, folks, I do see some folks asking about drops in the chat. And yes, correct, there are no drops today for the Division 2. As for a future drops campaign, it looks like Eternal Chaos is sharing that they'll be live from March 3rd to 17th. Personally, I can't confirm that. Maybe one of our mods can, or maybe Yannick, maybe you can, just to make sure that we're giving folks.
There will be drops. I don't remember the dates.
That's okay. All right, no, I wanted to look at that map. So yes, there will be drops. Not on this channel today, though, or not on any channel today.
I believe the dates might be right. The dates that have been shared. People are more informed than I am.
Well, that's one of the things we love about y'all, chat. You chat bringing the knowledge, sharing your tips, sharing your experiences with the game. It's one of the things we love about having y'all here and doing this live. So we appreciate you. Ooh, a Modest Mouse with a tip. So I was typing in 01001, but Modest Mouse saying in the chat, if you take a picture of it and submit it to Google or an AI engine, it'll do it instantly. So there you go. Even smoother translation, rather. Okay.
And yet our in-game AI, Isaac, is incapable of doing that.
Just poke those holes in it, Yannick. Just poke the holes. It's a special Alani Kelso, original. Okay, so we got to do a recon. It says recon patrol. Now is that where like a team is setting out from a checkpoint, and I kind of have to go along with them? Sorry, you know how like friendlies will go out on patrol. I'm wondering if that's what I have to do, because this is what I did last time, was just kind of looked at the names, because as you mentioned, Theo Parnell was very wordplay heavy. So it looks like I might have to. So you can tell me after I speculate, but like, I'm not. I am thinking that what I see sometimes is from a control point or from a settlement. Friendlies will go out on patrol, and you can go along with them, and that's kind of a little mission. But Yannick, am I on the right track, or am I mistaken? Do you know offhand?
I don't know.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, we'll go take over. We'll take over a checkpoint and see a control point and see how it goes. We'll head. Sinkhole is not my favorite.
I am not helping you.
We're gonna go to Solar Farm, and once we're.
Kyoto saying, "Oh, thank you for the shade materials increase." Yeah, that's something we've done actually. We've done a bit of balancing work on the shade levels and the rewards you get for the shade levels. So in the scavenging points, when you spend points on scavenging, now you actually gain a bit more for each of your points.
Oh, okay.
We wanted to make some of the choices a bit more relevant because things were not really balanced the right way. So it felt like people were always going for the same things. So yeah, we did a bit of balancing here to try to make all the options a bit more interesting.
Nice. That balancing within the... So you're talking about the shade levels that people get just by gaining XP beyond 40.
Yeah, exactly. And when you go to your shade watch, you can allocate the points, and if you put them on scavenging, you're going to get... For most of the options there, you're going to get more.
Oh, nice. Good call out. Thank you, Chatter, for mentioning that. We always take time to appreciate the public art here, chat. So we're just walking around this sculpture. It was kind of like almost like a topographic contour, like bean shaped thing. I love it. It's such a good world, man. I mean, just not like, as we discussed earlier, not like a great place to be currently as an alive.
Such a good world.
As like a human who wants to stay alive, but like, it rewards paying attention to this stuff as you're, moving from checkpoint to checkpoint.
There's a lot of storytelling everywhere. It's everywhere you look, there's a micro story, but the dev spent a lot of time building. So it's even I still discover things when I run around in the world.
Okay, so I see we've got these resource convoys, but recon patrol is what. All right, I want to look at the manhunts because it says recon patrol in the East Mall. Oh, and it's progress 0-3. Okay, this might just be like do activities. Then I don't think I'm gonna do control points. I didn't see the progress was 0-3. I'm just gonna do some activities. I see some dudes over here carrying some stuff. I'm gonna mess with them.
Exactly.
Where'd they go? Come on, buddies. Was I looking over here and seeing them? I think so. They may have progressed a little further. Let's see if this is just some randos or if it's actually some guys who.
So did we actually put the riddle inside the riddle? So not even clear with our instructions.
It just required a little more thought, a little more examination. Oh no, you know what?
A nicely placed grenade here.
Oh boy, it was. I didn't quite capitalize it in the way that I'd hoped, but we're staying alive.
Didn't get the kills though.
I know. I did not confirm the kills. What we had talked about earlier was maybe try to shoot a little bit to get their healths down. Always love that. Okay, see, 1 of 3. Okay, we're on track. It's like shoot.
You didn't need me.
I mean, you did help me out a little bit by not confirming. Yes, Chris, that's correct. By just being like, I don't know, as if you didn't know, chat. As if you played it well, though. I appreciate you. Okay. I'm gonna try to get their health down a little. You know what? Get 1 down. Everyone gets a bad headache. We throw the grenade on you. Oh, I think that grenade's gonna be a little less effective. Got that guy? Nope.
So close.
I mean, that's pretty decent. I'm like 2/3 of the way there to the next tier of my momentum, but not quite enough. I see there's an activity over...
down again.
I know, it's going down. There's an activity there, but I think it might be just out of... Oh, no, it's inside. All right, great. It's still inside the East Mall. Let's go. Stop the propaganda broadcast.
Got Do the thing. Be a division agent.
Chad, are you enjoying my hoodie here, by the way? It's like kind of a makeshift ghillie vibe. This is the first cosmetic item you can unlock. I think it's in the premium track of the season pass, but of course the seasonal pass has its free and premium tracks and has different cosmetics and gear items you can unlock along the way. I don't know if there's anything about the kind of season pass you want to talk about, Yannick. Any highlights I want to share as I get into the mix over here?
Well, I mean, there's a bunch of cool outfits that you can get there, and there's rewards. We have starting with last season, we've also started putting actual premium credits on the season pass. So if you complete your season pass, you get partially a part of the credits you will need for the next season pass, or you can invest them on other things. Of course, we have a much more active store now these days, so there's a lot of options for you to spend those credits on. But yeah, we're also still kind of like trying new things. There's a lot of new type of things that we're going to be adding in the future to the pass as well. So yeah. We're still discovering new things we're able to do with this game.
And that is like one of the things that I really enjoy about having you on the stream, about exploring these new seasons, is how the team is really working to like regularly refresh things, evolve things as they see not just sort of opportunities that you all on the dev team discover and like want to undertake, but also stuff that the community is talking about and experiences they're having. You're very, in tune with that. Is there, y'all do have a Discord, right, that you keep an eye on?
Yes we do.
Get out of here. So if you type chat, if you type exclamation point, what's the chat for TD2 Discord? Let's type that in. Someone type exclamation point TD2 Discord for me while
I think they made it hard to get to season level 100. So what's your name? Take note. Well, we've actually made a change this season because we've last season you had to play the journey or you had to play the priority objectives to get seasonal XP and progression on your season pass. This season we've actually changed it. You still get season XP through those activities, but we've actually put season XP on pretty much every activity in the game. So we went back closer to the way it used to be before we did Season 2.0, where you can play whatever you want and you're gonna get progression. So the system should be more generous compared to what it used to be last season.
Yeah, more generous was kind of one of the things I noticed was a point y'all were trying to emphasize when I was reading the patch notes and when I was watching the video of you talking about it. Just the way that you're giving those modifiers, especially earlier, sort of tying all that stuff in, so it's richer along the way.
Yeah, and I mean we of course moving to a model that is a bit more objective based with the season compared to what it used to be, where it used to be a big buffet and you do whatever you want and then you just progress your season progression. But that's kind of all there was to it. Now of course we have the journey, we have the objectives, but we don't want that to mean that it has to be work. It should still be stuff you can do while just enjoying the game and doing what you want to do. So there's a lot of small changes we've made here to overall just make things a bit more fun, speed things up a bit, remove some of the friction that Seasons 2.0 added. So as I said, it's the second time we make a season under this new model. We're still learning and we're still receiving a bunch of feedback. So it's going to keep evolving. And as you said, it's that's the beauty of working on a live game. It's just we get to keep iterating and we keep improving. Every season we try to improve something, and sometimes we get it wrong, and hopefully more times we get it right. But that's what I find stimulating working on this kind of projects. Is just every 3 or 4 months we get to try something else.
Get to try something new. And chat, of course, has been mentioning it throughout. But let's touch on it real quick. There, in terms of the future, something new is coming. There's that Brooklyn DLC. Do you have just kind of, for folks who are curious about it or, want something to look forward to, what's the word on that DLC and sort of little mini expansion for Brooklyn?
It's a DLC and it's in Brooklyn.
There you go, chat. Listen, just because we got him on stream doesn't mean he's gonna tell us everything. But we gotta ask. We want you to know we are.
Yeah, no, we haven't said much about it. We are still keeping it keeping it close to our chest so far. But no, we've been working on that DLC for some time already, and it's getting there. And we're going to release it this year. But now is not the time to give more details outside of yes, it's a DLC in Brooklyn called Battle for Brooklyn.
There we go. A little more patience, and it'll be time, folks. Oh, all right. Resource convoys coming through. I'm gonna wait for them to cross the border, and this will be my final sort of recon activity in the East Mall, and we'll complete that phase of the scout manhunt. So I think they're
Why make a DLC and a sequel at the same time? Wouldn't it make more sense to streamline at this time, Gast? Well, we always work in parallel on multiple things, and that's game dev, and that's live game dev. Like, you know, we work on the next update, we work on the update after that, and the one after that, and in the meantime, there are teams working on other projects. So what we want is a continuous flow of content and new things for players to do. So you keep engaging with the game and with the brand. So it makes complete sense, and I think the fact that we're in year 6 of the Division 2, and we are making a full-on DLC is just a sign of how committed we are to keep this going.
And it's pretty exciting. You know, chat, we are going to get you the news, and we're going to tell you more about it just as soon as we can. But the time will be right for that another time. All right. But thanks for asking. We appreciate the interest. Oh, additional.
Okay, Rod. Hello, are you going to increase the stash? Hey, do you work for Ubisoft? But, are you just like...
We don't have plants in the chat, Yannick. Come on. I mean, maybe we do.
But yeah, we have. So we have with this season, we have increased the stash space. We've added 100 slots to stash, but there's a small condition. These 100 are actually divided in 2 packs of 50. So one of those 50 stash space is awarded to you if you own Warlords of New York, and the other 50 is if you own the Year 1 pass, which is the pass that was available with the Ultimate Edition, I believe, in when the game launched, that can still be purchased today separately. But yeah, if you own one of those 2, you're gonna get 50 extra space. If you own both, you will get 100 space.
There we go. More stash. Now, I completed that activity, but instead of like looking up the next thing, I noticed that I was at tier 2 of my momentum, so I sprinted frantically and pulsed my way to keep that modifier elevated while I ran to the next activity, just because I want to get some action time with this, the momentum modifier. Now, folks, if you joined us partially through the stream, you'll see a little red bar. Oh no, oh no. Next to my ammo sort of thing, and that's the seasonal modifier, Rogue Momentum. Yannick, you want to refresh our memory about it while I'm tell them why I'm frantically running place to place.
It's actually the fun thing with this modifier is that you actually, once you get into it, like you get that push of like, okay, I'm gonna try to push a bit more. I'm gonna try to be a bit faster. Okay, maybe I should pause now and use an armor kit, but no, I'm just going to keep going because I don't want my momentum to go down. So that's what makes it really fun. That feeling is just that always that thirst to just keep it going.
Yeah, I'm not even sure what objective I'm doing now. I'm just blasting anyone who comes near me.
Raising that momentum.
Oh, I slipped back down into tier 2, I think.
Any chance you're all going to rework the dead talents and gears and some useless exotics? Furious Anger. Well, last season we did a big pass on a lot of items. There's a lot of items that were
too much
irrelevant that we've tried to boost, that we've tried to improve, and we have more changes coming. We didn't do a big pass this season because we were still, we still wanted to give some time to all the balancing we did last season to still settle, to see where the meta is going, what becomes popular, what doesn't. Sometimes there are some things that appear very quickly. There's other things that take a bit more time to actually become clear. So we wanted to give it a bit of time, but you can expect more changes. And overall, I mean, if something is completely useless and nobody wants it, usually we'll try to do something about it at some point.
They got it on the list. All right, thank you for answering that. While I definitely had a successful outing and everything went fine, we have now completed our activity 2. And now the final Manhunt Scout is just a wall of binary. I might have to take him up on the take the picture, because I see the progress as 0 of 20. So I'm imagining that's like maybe a specific kind of kill or something like that. So that's one of my that's my next sort of Manhunt Scout ability or challenge. And you can see my reward there: exotic components, shape calibration.
Could be complete the raid 20 times.
Listen, Yannick, I know you are setting challenges out here, but I also know you're not a demon, man. So you would never, chat. Would he? Would he? I'm gonna check in on my journey and see where we're at, because I'm working on tier 2 here, territory controls, and then craft weapons. I can knock that out pretty easily, and then do another bounty. So I think things are starting.
I heard a rumor that Fela was still alive. 100% did not stop that rumor. 4,000. No, Fela is dead, and I will keep saying that. I will keep saying that forever.
I mean, listen, rumors about people being alive or not alive are completely understandable given our, oh boy, our friend Theo Parnell and his holographic shenanigans.
We have had a precedent of people that were supposed to be dead that turned out not to be dead.
Mm-hmm.
Now ain't one of them.
There we go. All right. What did I say I was going to do? I'm just going to pew-pew these guys real quick, and then we'll get into it. Oh man, this museum building looming up here.
Do you think she should be alive?
What was the nature
for... come back?
Should she come back? Listen, chat.
I can make the call, and I can make it happen if you want.
You just have to say the right, convince Yannick in the chat, and, you can use his powers to creatively direct that into being. Emphasis on creatively. Okay. Let's find... All right, I gotta do that. I'm gonna try to take the picture of the binary and see how it goes. All right, let's see.
The spirit of Faye lives. A lot of what's actually happening in the seasons and in our story is, consequence of the events that she said when we did season 4 and year 2 and when she assassinated the president. So she's still relevant.
She really did. She is very relevant. She is very pressing. Okay. Translate this. English to English? No. I need you to translate binary. Detect language. Let's see if it's not listed in the Google Translate situation. So I didn't have the easy AI translate photo. I'll have to work on that one a little later. In the meantime, let's find ourselves a nice little bounty here. Oh man!
You missed the old school state of the game.
State of the game. Oh, what a fun show that was. That was a good one. We appreciate it.
I miss Hamish.
Yeah, shout out to Hamish.
Yeah. I miss the couch also. I think that setup we had for State of the Game was probably one of the most comfortable stream setup I ever had to work with.
There's something to a couch. I guess there's a reason people get those in their houses.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you are, you're missing State of the Game and you're, that the State of the Game was a show that the dev team, the community team produced to sort of illuminate, status of the game, updates to the game, connect with community. Certainly you are still, giving very detailed information season to season, patch notes to patch notes on the official Division site. The Division official Discord is also a great place to connect if you're curious to meet folks and chat with folks about the game. And we can share both of those links in chat here. Let me see, TD2, boom. That's for this season's all the details. And then the Discord over here, if I can type Discord correctly, boom. We got those links for you as well, chat.
Nick, are you gonna revive the survival mode maybe on Division 2? Look at that. No, we don't have plans to bring back survival. Survival exists, you can play it in Division 1 and it's great the way it is.
It really is. Wintertime vibes of survival were really delightful. But we're in summertime, baby. All right, gotta find this Garfield's Battalion bounty. I'm kind of in the middle.
Terry
of
Spear and Emperor come home too. These are names that bring back memories. No, Terry is pretty happy where he is. Emperor, I don't know what he's up to these days.
Do I have time to do a territory control before? Yeah, we're right there. Territory control is one of my seasonal journey things to check off, so I'm just gonna do a quick territory control on the way. It's fine. The bounty will still be there. So Yannick, you just launched the season this week, but you know, it's been certainly in PTS and been in the works for quite some time. As you are playing, you know, because this man maintains his current build, he's got the chops. What's kind of one of the things you're finding enjoyable about the way that this season is working yourself?
Well, it's, you know, I'm pretty basic. I have a basic striker build with my Sentinel, and so obviously I love the modifier. I'm having a lot of fun with it.
Big shots
and
it's not gonna go well.
Yeah, so far that's what I've been enjoying. It's trying to master the modifier and the use of it, and trying to get that momentum going, and playing around with that. It's just it's a lot of fun. It just makes the very core of playing the game more fun.
Access key detected.
So I'm just enjoying to do what you're doing, you know, just run around, do activities, and just the satisfaction of actually getting NPCs down.
Yeah, and that moment earlier when I was like, oh man, I got the juice, let me run and find something else. Like, that's, it kind of like lit a little fire, you know, like I had that incentive to up the tempo. And as you know, I'm not always a run pell-mell from point A to point B kind of guy. You see me out here, I'm appreciating statues. I'm taking my time to some degree, but there is definitely something about that momentum, that rogue momentum, that really makes you want to kick it into gear and chase a deer. Come back here. I want to pet you. I know you're a wild animal and that's not appropriate. Get back here.
Target is near you, agent.
Okay. Don't pat wild animals, folks.
So it's kind of the pressure, you know, when we make a modifier that actually, you know, people enjoy. And again, the one last season was the first time we did one, and it was a bit more mixed. Some people liked it, others didn't. I think people warmed up to it over time, but it wasn't necessarily a home run. And I'm not gonna say this one is, but you know, it's great to get positive feedback on it. But it kind of puts pressure because the next one needs to be just as good.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you set the bar high. Oh, boy. They're on the backside of me, I think. I don't know if I did this quite right. Okay. Yep, we're doing okay. A little blind fire. A little blind fire in a pinch. Oh.
Oh, no.
It's fine. Lost the. That's all right. You know what? If we're doing bounties, we can go ahead and, like, switch up the area we're in, because we're just doing bounties. We're not doing specific to... Although, if we do a bounty in the East Mall, maybe we'll make progress towards that as of yet undecoded Manhunt Scout. So we'll head in. Right? It's happening right live now in my brain, chat. I'm falling into Yannick's web of how he wants me to play the game, and it's delightful.
Yeah, definitely don't envy you guys when it comes to coming up with these things, modernist mouse. No, I mean, that's the best part of the job. It's to actually come up with ideas and debate with the team on like what could work and what couldn't. It sucks when we get excited about something and then we announce it and people don't like it. It happens, but I mean, coming up with ideas is usually not the problem. But then, you know, it's actually a very long journey from coming up with an idea, like a very high level rough idea, and then translating that into the details that it takes. You know, like game design is design in general. It's a very detailed work. You need to think of every single piece of that momentum, how of that modifier, how everything synergizes with everything else in the game, and so there's actually a very long journey going from the first idea when we started talking about rogue momentum. The very first idea was like, okay, let's make something that is about aggressive playstyle. That's really how we started. This idea of this kind of, again, berserk feeling, but then translating that into an actual detailed design document and design work, and then working with all the teams to implement it, and then looking at, okay, but now we have that, how do we actually create all the information, the UI, the signs and feedback and everything, so it's actually understood by players and all that. There's a lot of work that goes into that. That's also super exciting. So it's not just getting the idea, but also actually then turning that into a full-fledged feature is also super fun.
And do you, as you're doing that process, I mean, you talked about, announcing something and players, having a reaction to it. Obviously, you want them to love it, and if they don't, like, okay, all right, let's see why that is. But do you also have moments where, like, you propose an idea or someone on the team does, and then it gets kind of contentious because people on the team are like, no, it's not going to work for this reason, and you kind of have to, like, work through. Oh boy. I'm trying to ask a question, and also
distracted by the question.
Did where like you all kind of, it's a little tricky to work through and come to agree on sort of the alignment of like, hey, how's this going to go? How are we going to take it?
Yeah. Well, it happens a lot that we have. I think that's where we come up with the best stuff is when something is debated in the team. If everybody, if an idea comes up and everybody rallies behind it, on one hand it's great, on the other hand it's very dangerous because then nobody's going to question it. You don't have that healthy debate of, wait a second, is that really a good idea? You all end up in this vacuum of thinking, okay, this is the best idea in the world. We all think it's amazing, and maybe it is, but maybe it isn't. So I like when there is a bit of contention, when people start pushing back, even if they might not disagree with the idea, but just to take that devil's advocate place and be like, well, but wait a second, maybe not. And we usually get great discussions on that. And there's been cases of things, that ideas someone had, and then someone gets really, really opposed to it or upset about it, and it's like, no, we shouldn't do it. These are usually a lot of fun. Unfortunately, then usually it's my job to say yes or no.
Yeah, the buck stops here, right?
when you don't get a consensus in the team, and I have to be the referee in between. But yeah, it's a lot of it's rarely. It's not a one-person job, and it's rarely a one-person idea. Like everything we put in the game is usually the result of a lot of discussions and iterations on a very first concept, and then coming up with as I said, all the details of what this means into when you turn that into a game feature.
Oh, sure, yeah. It ain't easy making video games, but it sure can be fun and rewarding, which we'd love to hear the anecdotes and the stories from the dev team, so we appreciate you out there, Yannick. Some folks in chat are asking sort of, what's up with the Division 2? Well, if you're just joining us, Division 2 Season 3 of Year 6 has just launched. It's called Burden of Truth, and it's bringing new seasonal modifiers, updates to the seasonal journey, a lot of content, and a lot of sort of evolution of this end game sort of seasonal journey that you guys have been sort of really launched and embarked on with the previous season. Now doing some refinements, some different takes on the stuff you introduced. Is it kind of exciting to be at that point of like, all right, second run at it. Let's see what we can do with this system.
Yeah, it's been great, and the thing is that without going into details, I think season 2, the last one we did, and the first one that introduced seasons 2.0, it worked pretty well for us. It actually accomplished a lot of what we wanted seasons to accomplish. It brought in a lot of things that helped us with the performance of the game overall. So it was really encouraging to see that some of the assumptions we made actually worked, even though once again Not everything was perfect, and there was a lot of feedback, but still overall, it's a more solid system for us than what we used to have. But being able to iterate on that from the community feedback, trying to look at, okay, what are the improvements we want to bring here, and once again rethinking how do we do a new modifier now, what actually changes and what doesn't, what is just a copy paste with a different taste versus what is actually completely freshly new. I think that's what makes this season model also so much more exciting, is that every season we have to rethink entirely the whole concept of modifiers. And so that's more work, but it's also much more fun, because even for us creatively, it's much more stimulating to not just take a season and be like, okay, well, let's copy paste the last one and let's just change the objectives from this to that. But now every season, when we think in the future, we really need to think about, okay, what is this about? What kind of experience are we creating here?
Mm-hmm. And the modifiers, because it's not just like, because the modifiers touch every aspect of the pillars of the game, right? It's the idea is that it's influencing every moment. It's a moment that you're playing while you have it on. So, it really kind of seems like it gives you this way to interact with and to pull levers on, the core stuff without without reinventing the wheel out here, but just like figuring out different ways you can flex it, can push it, and can create kind of a different spin on things.
Yeah, and they're, in a way, the modifiers, they're also a bit kind of rule breakers, right? We allow ourselves with them, at least that's what I try to tell the team, is that like it's okay to kind of break the game with a modifier to make the players more powerful, to allow them to do things that they can't usually do, because it's time limited. I mean, it ends when the season ends, and then it's gone. So it's okay if for the duration of the season we allowed players to do things they don't usually do. And I hope we're going to get to do more of that moving forward as well, like modifiers that are really enablers, that are allowing things that usually the rules of the game forbid.
I like that. Playing with the rules. All right, let's go. Speaking of playing with the rules, let's go get loud in an art museum. Come here.
So they're asking, are there any secrets that aren't found yet and you thought they were easy to find and do? Well, the thing is, and I know there's been some controversial, but there's been statements that were made in the past on the fact that not all secrets were found. So allow me to clarify that. All secrets have been found in the game, that I know of anyway. There might be something that was put somewhere by a dev that nobody knows of, but all the secrets, as far as I know, they've been found. Now, solving those secrets, though, as far as I know, some riddles have not been solved the right way. People just brute force their way into solving them, but they've not been solved by as per design.
Oh, interesting.
Secret was built.
Interesting and intriguing, chat. See what he says. This is, of course, the way the artist intended this to be seen, with the humming welcome of a repair drone above you, seen through the purple goggle eyes of the watcher. It's just a normal art museum time.
Force is the strategy, Max. Yeah, I mean, and that's that's just the thing. I think we can build the most refined and fancy design in the world. At the end of the day, what matters is how people play the game, and very often people find ways to actually circumvent that and approach it in a more simpler way. But if that's how people find fun, I'm okay with it.
There you go. Like at a certain point, like you're a game developer, you're trying to create these experiences, but then they're out of your hands. You put them out there, and then they're the players' experiences. And I think it seems like to me, just anecdotally, like it could be one of the challenging parts of game dev, but also one of the like really exhilarating parts as you see people discovering stuff that's that's their own way to take on the thing that you've created. Come on.
Yeah.
That's your target.
That's my target. Okay, I'm gonna try to sprint and try to get to level 2 on my rogue momentum modifier. Don't have a lot of juice in there. Oh no, my pulse is not ready. Okay, I'm just gonna go in. Just go loud. Okay, now here's
Are
the
we having a
pulse.
debate in chat about new content? With Girl 88.
Oh yes,
I don't consider new gameplay mechanics as content. DLC, new mission, that is content. Yeah, well, that's why we're building a DLC, right? It's obviously when we, I think we use content as a very broad term.
True.
But seasons are new things to, new ways to play the game. It's a new thing. It's a fresh layer on the existing game. But that's how we build that's how we build a successful live model, is by having content that is replayable to infinity. Of course, after 6 years, I understand that the same missions are, you've seen them a million times and you know every single spawn point. But it's really about trying to find the right balance between reusing what we have and also bringing completely new things. That's why we wanted to try to make a DLC, and that's why we're building a DLC. It's also to take a stab at having a real piece of new content that we're going to unlock for the players.
Pretty exciting stuff, folks. And we're definitely don't have info to share on the DLC today beyond the sort of Yannick talking about, what they're trying to do with it. But you can bet that we will give you, and Yannick definitely wants to give you as soon as he can, as soon as it's the right time. We're going to tell you what we can for sure. Now I've completed that bounty, and so let's take a moment to check in on the seasonal journey over by these large artworks. This is a real painting. I feel like I've seen this one before elsewhere. Did you guys have to get the rights for this stuff? Do you know, Yannick, how the acquisition of rights to put various artworks in this museum went?
I mean, very often the art is it's made by us. There's, everything that is. I don't know for those art pieces, to be honest, but we need to get. That's the problem with being a game grounded in the real world, is that we need to get legal approval on everything. So the moment you put a building that is a real, you make a street based on real world street. Every single building you need to double check. Am I allowed to use that building or not? Which is why some buildings in our world are actually not the original ones. And that's the same for art, right? And so in some cases we build it or we make the art ourselves. In some cases we actually work with artists for them to build art for us, and we buy it from them. So it really depends on the piece that we make.
There you go. And we also have some folks in chat saying this is probably part of public domain. Appreciate the phrase public domain. Very helpful when it comes to this stuff, and one that sometimes slips my mind. So thank you for mentioning that, chat.
And it could be, but I don't. And again, that's me not knowing. But I don't even know how it works when you're actually putting it then in a paid piece of content, like a video game, because we're still making money of it. So,
very true, very true. So, folks, look, if you're sort of gravitating in your life or career choices towards the law, and you still want to be involved in video game world, listen. Video game companies need lawyers to help them sort this stuff out.
We need lawyers. Lawyers are also game devs.
Lawyers are also game devs. They show up in the credits of the games they help get these games made. All right, I'm going to type in a few binary things, and we're going to see if we can decode this real quick here, Yannick. In the little bit of time we have left on the stream, is there anything about this kind of new season or about what you're hoping to see, what you are intrigued for players to find out that you want to kind of talk about as we're, we got some time left, but not too much time, so we want to make the best of it.
Well, I think it's I'm happy to see the reaction overall to this season, or the reception of the season. It's been great when we put it on the PTS directly. People were for the most part positive about it, and then we made adjustments, and then launching the season and seeing some positive feedback on that as well. Of course, all the we are taking the feedback, positive or not, so please share that with us. But seeing people happy and excited with the modifier, and seeing that we're getting closer to really understanding how to use those new systems we've created, that's super encouraging. I'm super looking forward to, well, during the season actually, and we haven't talked about that, maybe you can show that, but one thing we've done as well is we've implemented a bunch of new events with the season. So when you
Yes.
look at the season, if you open the season and you look at the timeline, you will see that there's a lot of events, and some of them are things that yeah, there you go. Some of them are, returners. We have global events, we have a X5 XP event, these kind of things, but we also have new type of events like Shepherd XP event. Here you see, for example, we have a Dark Zone event that is scheduled at some point in the season. So we're really bringing a bunch of those new things that are what I call those moments of fun, where like for a week the game just feels a bit different. We're not asking you to do anything in particular. We're just saying, hey, if like you're gonna get that more things. And at least the X5 XP events have been very popular. So I'm curious to see, what kind of new type of events we can do that people will have fun with. So that's going to be fun to see throughout the season. But I'm especially looking forward to the end of the season for two reasons. One, because we're going to have a new climax mission and a new master climax mission. We did that last season. It was the first time we did a master. Got a bunch of feedback, and we're already working on the next one. So looking forward to that. And looking forward to the end of the season for story reasons, but I will not spoil.
That'll be week 11. Is that when that final Manhunt Scout will be released? And then if you've completed the previous weeks, it'll unlock that climax mission?
Yes.
All right. Well, I did a little bit of code breaking here, and the first 4 letters are ELIM. So we're talking about eliminating something. Now, can I strategically figure out which by doing the last 2 letters? We'll see, and then if not, then we'll just hop into something else as we go here.
Eliminate is a fairly broadly used term.
I know, it definitely is. Eliminate, there's a fair amount of that goes around, so yeah. 101 0.
We want more master missions. Well, yeah, I mean, it's a whole new setting we created just for the climax mission, and I know there's been feedback, and it's not everybody's cup of tea. We've made it on purpose to be not for everyone, and it's always hard when you make content that is designed to be challenging, because first, what's your definition of challenge? How can we make challenge that is interesting? And then who does it cater to? Because that means when you make it challenging, you have to accept that not everybody will be able to do it, which means people who can't do it might be frustrated by that. And also people who are targeted by that, is that going to be challenging enough for them? So there's a lot of calibration we need to do. And once again, the one we did at the end of last season was the first time we attempted something like that. And overall, I'm very happy with the feedback we got, positive and negative, because it helps us guide us for the next one. So we'll take that and we'll keep iterating. But it's we'll see what becomes of the master difficulty in the future if we want to expand it to more things. But right now, it's fun to allow ourselves to, when we think climax missions, now we can think about them in 2 ways. What's just the story part for everyone, and then how do we take that and create a harder version? That's a lot of fun.
Yannick, I appreciate your thoughtful answers, which you're giving while I'm figuring out binary things and codes with a little bit of help from chat. I think we're going to try
to get more letters.
Yeah. Well, I did the last few letters, and it was like the last few letters were INES. So I was thinking, all right, we're eliminating with mines of some kind, and then happened to glance at chat, and we got a few tips. So I appreciate y'all in chat. Now, will I be able to eliminate enemies with secret mines? My skill on this build is very little. I don't have a lot of skill power. So we're going to soften them up and then see if we can finish the job as we work on that seasonal journey. Or actually, this is for the Manhunt Scout, but I'm going to try to do it at a territory control so I can get some progress towards my seasonal journey as well. Oh boy, look who's here.
Master was very fun, Kamikaze. Glad you liked it.
Okay. This guy, a little bit, and then I'm try to get him with the air burst seeker mine, see if he'll take him out. How much damage are we doing? I don't think it really hit him. for that much. You might have to go to for the clusters. Those are the ones that are more like direct. I'm damaging one person, right? Whereas like the air burst are more. I'm gonna mess with a whole, or I'm gonna burst a whole bunch of folks. Oh gosh, can't take fire behind.
If you don't have a skill build, it's gonna be hard anyway to do
Yeah.
serious damage with
Yeah.
it.
Gonna have to like get them
Unless
down.
you max out your momentum and get that overcharge.
Oh my gosh.
Then we're talking.
Listen, we've got we've got solutions here. Are they actionable solutions, would we say? You know, we'll find out. All right. It's horrible robot. Too close, too close, too close.
Team has done such an amazing job over the years to improve and continue commitment to the game. For Baller, well, thank you for saying that. It's pretty crazy. I actually today, we're the 27th of February. 10 years ago today, I was hopping on a plane and moving to Sweden to start my job at Massive, it's crazy to think that
10 years
what is
ago
it?
today.
Yeah, 6 of those 10 years have been on this game for me. When when we restarted making content for the game after the release of Warlords of New York, if you would have told me back then that I would be here in a stream talking about Year 6 Season 3, I wouldn't have believed you. So it's but it's those kind of comments that are super motivating, because it's cool to see that that people are appreciative of the efforts, and even if we don't get it right all the time, it's we're trying very hard, and we're all here because we love this game, and we want to keep it keep going for as long as we can.
We appreciate you, Yannick. Thanks for sharing that. Yeah, this is, speaking of anniversaries, the Division 2's anniversary. Oh gosh. is in March, right? It's coming up.
Yes, it's in a couple of weeks.
It's in a couple weeks, and there will be some anniversary events around that, folks. So keep an eye out for the exact parameters of those, but they have been announced. Some cosmetics coming as part of the celebration for the launch of the Division all those many years ago. And it's also like, because it's also like a Warlords anniversary as well, right? Like,
yeah,
because
the 6 years of Division 2, 5 years of Warlords of New York.
5 years of Warlords of New York. Very, very cool. All right, I'm going to take one more run at this. Let's see, is the territory control still just over the border here? Or did I die and make it go away? All right, here's territory control just outside the settlement. We're going to mark this one. This will be our final task here on stream today. And chat, thank you again for sharing the positivity. We really appreciate you. Appreciate the questions and comments of all types, as long as you're keeping it respectful, which you're doing a fantastic job of doing
You should
today.
check out and compare your stats. I love data.
Okay,
Oh,
Wally.
sweet.
Yannick was Skinner, right?
Whoever designed this must be a gamer.
I'll let you decide. You make up your own mind.
All right, I forgot I
You're a
don't
division
have the pulse.
agent, you're a free agent.
Okay, there we go. I got one. I got one Seeker Mine kill in that, and you can see the pop-up of all that binary code giving me the progress notification that I'm on my way, slowly but surely, to those 20 Seeker Mine kills.
A bunch of zeros and ones.
Yep. But look, it's a little bit of a code breaking challenge. I like it. It's pretty fun. It's like, it feels playful from y'all. It feels like, hey, you know what we could do? Let's get them decoding something. And you know that, if you're playing the Division, you've got access to the internet. You can, you've got the tools. You don't need to have a computer science course under your belt to decode that one. Okay, come on, boys. All right. Now my Seeker Mine is up, so how much damage can we do to it? I'll give you a little bit more, and then we'll try to get you with the Seeker. I just love the little noise that they make. Ah, I got him. The little the little squeaky noises, the little sparks coming out because I've got that visual effect equipped.
And they're cute.
They're very cute. They are very cute. Do you tell me you've made chibi Seeker Mine plushies that are on your shelf at the office?
That'd be cool. That'd be really cool.
Is it too late to get some anniversary swag ordered up for you guys?
It's a mix of love and hate in here. Well, actually, you know, the thing is, I think every long-running, successful game has a mix of love and hate. That's to me, that's a sign of success. It's a sign of we've been going so long with this game and with this community that it's normal for everybody to have an opinion and to have, desires in terms of this is where I want the game to go and this is what I like and don't like, and I think that's very healthy. So I wouldn't have it any other way. I think it's super important to have healthy debates with different points of views.
That is such an excellent perspective to have. Yannick, thank you for sharing your insights on development of the game and kind of the mindset y'all use and the hard work you put in. And all the details on Season 3, Burden of Truth, which is out now in the Division 2, folks. You can hop in and play it today. I encourage you to do that. Check out the Rogue modifier. See if it suits your fancy. See if it lights a fire. It certainly did for me in a few moments on today's stream. So, Yannick, thank you so much for joining, man. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you for having me. As you said, always a pleasure. Always happy to chat with you and to chat with people in chat as well. So,
excellent.
Anytime.
Chat, thank you for being here, for sharing your questions and your comments. We always appreciate you. We'll be back tomorrow with some more live streams here on the channel as we work up to the launch of Assassin's Creed Shadows coming on March 20th. Lots of exciting stuff happened with Ubisoft games, so follow the channel and get your notifications on. Stick with us. Now, we're off on a raid to Old Danny. Raids are where, if you don't know, we're going to send you to another person's channel. This is going to be a big